Hey, good Wednesday morning, my friends. This is MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa. Wow, the week flying by. The weather going to turn quite wintry over the next 7 days, let's call it. I'll show that to you. The first batch of winter is a snow system moving across mostly the center part of the state. I'll show you that. Winter weather advisory in effect for parts of the area, parts of lower Michigan. And then we have much colder air, some lake effect, and eventually, toward the end of the weekend and early next week, some much colder air on the way. So this is where the winter weather advisory is in effect. What does that mean? There's several criteria. 3 to 6 inches of snow in 12 hours is the classic criteria in the middle of winter. This time of the year, they'll issue it for a little bit less, 2 to 4 inches of snow. A lot of times they'll issue a winter weather advisory if the 2 to 4 inches is coming in, say, a 6-hour time period and at a crucial travel time period. So several criteria there, but basically the winter weather advisory in effect for Muskegon, Ludington, Manistee, Pentwater, inland to the Big Rapids area. Does not include Grand Rapids. Grand Rapids Weather Service is saying that the snow there could cause some scattered slick spots, but not enough to cause them to issue a winter weather advisory. And of course, across the UP, that reeks of lake effect snow, doesn't it? All right, here's the snow. Here's the snow heading this way. Pretty succinct little snow system moving across. And still, you know, I have concerns about it being all snow because it's coming in many sections in the middle of the day. Yes, it was very cold last night, well below freezing, most all areas. But in the heat of the day, you get to 34, 35, 36. Maybe it starts to look like snow but act like rain. So that's why I say the accumulations I'm going to show you will be accumulations on the grass, not necessarily on the road, but I do think the roads will also, for the first time, get snowy, and you know what that means. The other people forget how to drive. What about Kingston, Michigan tonight to have travel for a volleyball game? Yeah, you're going to be in the light snow and maybe an inch on the roads in the Kingston area. Here we go with the radar forecast. 9 this morning, noon, 3 in the afternoon. So, you know, you're basically looking at from Flint to Grand Rapids northward, the area of snow. On the southern fringes of it, there will be some mix. And in Ann Arbor and Detroit, Jackson, Kalamazoo, you might not have a whole lot of precipitation today, if any. We are at 6 o'clock tonight. And then what's going to happen is a stretched out area of snow will develop. It'll be lighter. It'll be behind the main storm system. And that's going to shift southward through the night tonight. This is midnight, so you're still getting some snow, light snow, around Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, the Thumb, Flint, over toward Grand Rapids. It might be an inch or so. And as we go through the night tonight, we're at 6 tomorrow morning. It shifts and starts to move down in the southeast. Brittany Hamilton, what's Kalamazoo looking like? It looks like you're going to be far enough south that you will avoid anything but maybe a half inch on the grass overnight tonight. What's the best time to drive from Detroit to Boyne today? I guess I would say now really would be the best time. Get up there. And after that, I would say probably evening if you were going to do it. I wouldn't fear it a whole lot because, again, the roads will be somewhat warm. Heading to Manistee from Ovid this afternoon. Should I expect bad roads? I would say they will not be real good. This is your afternoon, Ovid to Manistee, and they are in the winter weather advisory. Oh, and then after that shifts on through tomorrow, guess what we get into? Cold air and lake effect. So you'll have some heavy spots here in the northwest. Maybe in the southwest, I wouldn't call it heavy, but there will be some maybe 3+ inch accumulations, and across the UP there will be some heavy, but these bands are going to roam around as the wind shifts pretty quickly in this active pattern, so it won't set up for any one spot to get real heavy. From Mason, but we'll be doing lots of travel to Kalamazoo this winter. Oh boy, Kalamazoo's in that snow belt, you know. All right, so total snowfall. On the west side, where the winter weather advisory is in effect, I would call it 2 to maybe 5 inches. Probably a lot of 3-inch totals, okay? And then most everything wants to bring a batch of 1 to 3 inches across Mount Pleasant and Midland and Bay City and maybe Saginaw, the northern half of the thumb, and then lesser amounts to the south, an inch or so. Scott Allen, Tuscola County, there you see it. I would call Tuscola County at least 1 inch to at most 3 inches. And again, most of that's going to be on the grass. Then we go into tomorrow and the lake effect kicks in, and you see the spots that get 6 inches or more. Mansalona, Kalkaska, and maybe something down in here gets a 4 to 8 inch snow over the course of 24 hours once the lake effect kicks in, and that's not the coldest air, folks. I'm going to show you that. I like this map from the Weather Service out of Detroit for southeast Michigan, and it shows you total snowfall 1 to 2 inches, and then from southern Genesee County, northern Oakland County, less than a ½ inch. So that gives you pretty good perspective. And look at the highs too, 37, 38 degrees. That will help the roadways out. Not to say you couldn't get something that briefly would get slick. Cindy just showed the snowfall totals there. Okay, now these are the temperature anomalies the next 16 days. Here we go into Thursday and Friday. I'll give you the legend here. When we're looking at these purples, we're 10 to 15 below normal. And we're looking at these purples, we're 20 degrees below normal. Bear in mind, normal high now, let's call it 45 to 50 at top. So take 20 off of that for a high. You're looking at a high of 25 at some point. Okay, so we're into the weekend now. And then here's the cold that I'm watching. This is the one coming down for Monday into Tuesday. And that's a serious area of 20 degrees colder than normal air. That will set off very heavy lake effect. This is Wednesday. And that's making it all the way down to folks in South Florida are finally going to cool off. They've been complaining, actually. Fort Myers, another record high yesterday. I think it was 91 degrees, 16th record high this summer and fall. Let's keep going, see if this lasts forever. Okay, we are into November 17th now, still colder than normal, but we're into November 19th and 20th, still colder than normal, but kind of just stagnating and fading, and look at the warmth starting to build to the north. So there's some indication that as we get to late November, we'll modify and get back close to normal. Now, bear in mind, I use the term warm up, not warm, because I don't determine what is warm for you. I talk warmer than normal, colder than normal, and I'll go off the historical long-term averages. So at the end of November and early December, when it warms up, remember, our normal high will be 35 to 40 then. You might get 40. You might get 45. Is that warm? I'm not to decide that. You can decide that. There, I'll get off my soapbox now. Here's the 6 to 10 day temperature forecast. Obviously, we know it's bone-chilling cold, but drier than normal. 8 to 14 day forecast into November 19th. Bone-chilling cold. Not much activity, and that will also work on the lake effect. You know, the lake effect needs moist air to be really, really heavy. 3 to 4 week forecast. Weather Service is seeing this temperature turnaround too. November 16th to 29th. They go for above normal conditions across much of the country. Equal chance of normal, below normal, or above normal here in Michigan, the Great Lakes, probably meaning we kind of hover near normal, which is cool at that time. And then not much activity on the storm track there. So there you have it. Snow today across the center part of the state. Heaviest west central, Manistee, Ludington, Muskegon, Big Rapids, 2 to 4 inches probably there. And then tapering as it goes to the east, tapering as it goes to the south. Someone wants to know, is there accumulating snow on Sunday and where? Sunday would be lake effect snow, no storm system around. After this storm system moving through, the next snows are pretty much all lake effect and in those classic lake effect bands. Hey, Peggy and Dave Mann, Midland, hello to you. Sharon Douglas, you're welcome. So we'll keep you updated on the snow, and we'll watch for some warmer temperatures. But I got to tell you, early next week looks actually very, very cold for early November. When you're talking highs in southern Michigan, 25 to 30-ish with wind and clouds, normally holding the temperatures up a little bit, that's afternoon high temperatures. You're talking very cold for this time of the year, 20 degrees colder than normal. Take the hose off the faucet. Remember, those are frost-proof faucets, but they say if you leave the hose onto them, it can kind of mess up that process that keeps it from being frost-free, and it could crack. So get the hoses off the faucets. Better pull them in because they're just going to stiffen up and freeze now. You're probably not going to use them again in late November or December. You might, but probably not. And that's about the only thing I can think of that I think people forget to do right about now. Of course, all your plants are going to be toast because they're getting quite cold. Thank you for joining me this morning on the MLive Morning Weather Update. I'm MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa. Brittany Hamilton, everybody, you guys have a great day. See you here tomorrow with more weather stuff. You know that.